was reading on the Native Instruments site that you didn't record this record on a real piano.
No,
Yeah.
believe it or not. This isn't Alicia Keys, this isn't triggering that sound, but
Yeah.
that sound is like so incredible that basically what we did was we mic'd up my piano in
Yeah.
my studio, which was a Yamaha Neo.
Yeah.
And so we were able to take the exact sound of my piano that I love so much
Yeah.
and really get all the dynamics of the way it feels, the soft pedal, the loud pedal, the reverberation when you hold it, when you hit it extremely hard, when I hit it extremely soft. And so it was done in such an incredibly well fashion that I didn't have to mic up my piano every time. So
Yeah.
obviously, as you know, micing up a piano, it depends on the tone you're going for, the sound you're going for.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do a great job, sometimes it's like, sometimes it takes 30 minutes, sometimes it takes 40 minutes, and so to just like turn it on and it's how I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that people who don't play piano don't understand if you're a guitar player or a sax player, you can take your instrument every night. And even if you have the same piano, the hall or the sound system, piano players, I'm a piano player, so you always feel a little bit behind the 8 ball. You don't really have a home base. And so the fact that you feel a lot more comfortable now that you have a sound that you can dial in that is exactly what you want every night?
Oh yeah, especially on stage because I tried a lot of different keyboards. And they're okay, but you kind of just feel it. So to have the sound that I love, I love it. So I'm really glad we got to do it.
And was the impetus to create it because you wanted to take the sound of your home piano with you? Was that the whole idea?
Yeah, that's where it began.
Yeah.
Definitely to take my sound with me wherever I went, on the road, on tour, or while I'm working in the studio. Because you go to different studios, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
If you go to different studios and there's another piano there, sometimes it sounds great, sometimes it doesn't. So it all depends. And also for people who maybe wouldn't really have access to an acoustic piano, but to have the sound of an acoustic piano.
Well, it's amazing because on the record, if you're using Alicia Keys on the whole record, you get so many different sounds out of it. I mean, there are times where it sounds like a CP70. There are times where it sounds like a full, like a S6 or a C7 or something. It's a lot of range. I think people are going to be excited to, if they buy this, to really, and hopefully they will buy this, to be able to dip into not only one sound but a whole range of sounds.
Well, I did use a CP70 on the record.
Oh, you did?
If you hear a CP70, that's because it was.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
But the sound does have a lot of range to it. It does, because we even will put effects on it. We'll even put like guitar pedals on it, and it'll sound totally crazy.
Yeah.
So you have that freedom to do many things.
Let's talk a little bit about the record because I think it's an amazing marriage of old stuff, of new stuff. I mean, sometimes an artist will go and try to go for an older sound or go to older instruments, and it sounds like they're trying to go for a certain sound, but this seems so seamless that it was really about the songwriting. It was about just updating a new story to tell without going for one particular sound. It's sort of, there's electronics on it, but there's a CP70 on it. Talk a little bit about your conception when you were thinking about the sound design for the record.
Yes, I wanted it to go somewhere new. I definitely did, and I was listening to a lot of different music, which is what I tend to do before I really start an album. Kind of just like, what am I feeling, and what feels good to me, and what do I want to explore? And at the beginning of this record, I really wanted to explore some interesting combinations of sound and style. So, like, say for instance, the Police I listened to a lot of Police. Obviously, they have that kind of ska vibe to them, but they definitely still have a soulful thing to them. But they do still have a pop thing to them, where you kind of understand the changes and where the melodies go. So I love that. And then I was really into Genesis a lot because I just loved kind of the darkness of it and the way it was experimenting with the drum machines, but also with the live drums, and how it kind of crossed between the two. And then again, the choruses would like open up, like it might start really dark, like Mama, but then it would open up. So I really wanted to understand like what was that about. And then Fleetwood Mac, I listened to a lot of Fleetwood Mac, and that was because my friend, one of my closest friends, her birthday, and Fleetwood Mac was playing at the Coliseum, and she was like, you want to come for my birthday to see Fleetwood Mac? And I'm like, sure. And so they're all like sitting in the thing singing every word, and I'm the only one that doesn't know every word of Fleetwood Mac, and I felt like a little embarrassed. But it was cool because it opened me up to like a whole other sound and drum style and group that, of course, I mean, you know, they're major big songs, of course, everybody does, but to go deeper in, like the Tusk album obviously was one that I took really and went back and really just zoned on. And so that was really interesting to observe the style of their flow and to learn something new about a legendary group, you know. So things like that are different people that I would listen to, and I did start concentrating a lot on the songwriting style, and that influenced the chords that I would use and kind of the way that I wanted the choruses to be, and just, you know, just opening up the flow. So musically, I knew I wanted it to sound different. I knew I wanted to experiment, and plus I was in my studio collecting tons of keyboards. Me and my engineer, we just would go in. She's like a collection addict, and so she'd be like, I saw this new, you know,
a little eBay action. Maybe?
Yes, she gets her eBay on. I saw this new Jupiter that you probably think is crazy. We should check it out. Or, you know, I found this interesting vintage keyboard. You might love it. And that was really fly because I knew I was searching for a new sound, so I was able to experiment a lot with Moogs and just different oscillator-based keyboards and just flows that were, it was fun.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't know if people would really assume that you're listening to Genesis and the Police, but on this record, you actually hear that. You hear,
do you?
Oh, totally. I mean, you know, I actually made notes for this. Like on Sleeping with a Broken Heart, there's kind of like these analog filter sweep things. It sounded like Rush and sounded like Prince, and then there was sort of like a TR 808 drum vibe, and it seems like there was this amazing ability to try things out. So many artists are afraid to. Well, what if I, you know, put a drum machine and I put a filter sweep? But you said, well, let's see what it sounds like.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And I think it was just able to really take what I started with As I Am and what we started with As I Am and bring it to the next level. Because As I Am, we definitely stayed a little more, I would say we did more like electric pianos. You know, we did a lot of whirlies and we did a lot of Rhodes and we did even harpsichords and things like that. But we would put crazy effects on them just to take it to a new place. So it kind of took that beginning and then pushed it to the next place, going into more of the vintage keyboard, drum machine style.
Something that's really interesting as I was going through the record is that you seem kind of fearless when it comes to playing in different keys. I mean, some people have home keys. I'm a piano player. I know that there's some keys I'm really good at playing in, and there's some keys. And it seems like, and is it your classical background? Is it something that you really pay attention to? I know that different keys feel different ways in your hands. So sometimes when you're writing a song, do you say, you know, this E feels better for this song, or sometimes a key will shape the way that you write a song because just the way chords feel. So is it something that you pay attention to when you're writing songs, like deliberately starting in keys, or you just sort of find your way into different keys?
I think I kind of find my way into the key more.
Because I went through the record and every song it goes, you know, when it's D flat, it's F, it's G, it's amazing.
Cool.
Very cool.
That's and so I'm not so deliberate with that. I'm more, it finds its way, like with That's How Strong My Love Is, that started in a different key. And then as I'm singing it and I'm flowing with it, I'm like, and so I took it up a half step. I'm like, what's the half step feel like? And then I'm like, then I took it up another half step until it feels like, so a lot of times it's about how it feels when I'm singing.
Yeah. So it may not end up where it started.
Yeah. Usually it won't end up where it started. And then by the time I'm on the road and I'm doing, you know, 21 songs a night or 30 something songs a night, then I'm like, why did I write that song so high? Because damn, I can't, like, it's so, I beat myself up all the time. I was like, what are you thinking? Why all the way up there? Come down. So